Yo, what is up once again, everybody? How's it hanging? How you doing? You know who it is. This is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast, brought to you by my song of the day, Rock 2000 to today. How's everybody doing? How's everyone hanging? And, well, after last week's little episode, because, well, you know, it was only 18 minutes, it was a little bit of a greatest hits as early on as we are, because, well, I was out of the country, and I will easily be talking about that on this episode, but I am back, baby! I am back! So, on this episode today, I've got two major things I want to talk about, but before we go into those, I'm going to go into my shameless plugs. So, of course, shameless plugs, you guys know what it is. I don't have any advertising for this, but if I did, this would be placed. So, let me just give you the quick rundown of our own stuff. So, first things first. Kevin, what's first? I don't know! Well, first things first is this is brought to you by my song of the day, Rock 2008, the project that was created by... Whoa, you guys hear that train whistle? Damn! But this was created by me, myself, and I with the help from my brother's friend Jake to help me code the Alexa Skill app. So this is basically the greatest rock community on the internet, or that's what I like to call it, because that's what we are striving to be. So what do? We have places for you to really get into our stuff. So to be a part of the community, follow us on Facebook. When you follow us on Facebook, what's going to happen is you're getting notified anytime anything's released, such as what the song of the day is, anytime a podcast gets released, anytime a YouTube video gets released, anything with, Instagram, hey, I gotta start adding IGTV stuff on there, and the Instagram live streams. But whatever, we're going to start adding those on there as well, so you guys are aware of those. So that's going to be your, just your end-all, be-all. Anything that's going on with us, go there. Also, follow us on Twitter, because Twitter, that's where we're going to talk to you guys about music. So we're just going to talk, have a good chit-chat conversation. Follow us on Instagram as well, because that's where we have our chit-chat conversations as well with you guys, along with a lot of different posts on different projects, such as our IGTV channel, which is more of a behind-the-scenes look, kind of what's coming up, what's to be expected, and our Instagram live streams, which happen every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central. On those nights, you're able to kind of just ask us questions, we give you answers, or we're just getting one hell of a conversation. It's just a lot better for us to get involved with you guys. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we put a lot of videos on YouTube at least once a week, sometimes twice. So what we've been doing a lot of lately is because we've had a lot of new music come out with albums, so we've been doing a lot of album reviews on there, and for the next month and a half, maybe 2 months, we're looking down the pipeline at those, because we've got a good amount. Let me just take a look at the ones that we have coming up, because of course we've got Atonement by Killswitch Engage, which just dropped, and that one will be dropping tomorrow. Tool's new album, Wage War's new album, Sleeping with Sirens new album, Korn's new album, As I Lay Dying, when they announced theirs, coming out September 20th. Yeah, we're reviewing that one as well. Of Mice and Men, hell yeah. Lacuna Coil, Alter Bridge, and whenever Saint Asonia decides to drop theirs, we will be reviewing all of those. So it's going to be busy. You're going to want to follow us on YouTube for that, along with some of the other fun ones we do, like, well, I made a whole video about what I'm going to be talking about here, so it released the night before this podcast came out. So if you want to check out that whole thing and kind of see some of the extra videos I have and some of the pictures, hell yeah, you're going to want to subscribe to the My Song Day Rock 2000 Today YouTube channel. Also, you're on the Chord Progression Podcast, so if you're a first-time listener, please, I want to welcome you. So, welcome. If you're a returning listener, what is up? Welcome back. Da-da-da. I was going for something there, but I don't remember where I was going for. So you guys know we just talk about a bunch of random stuff regarding music. We go deep dive into stuff, and we talk to smaller bands and talk to the followers as well, because we just want to talk to you guys. We want to get more of a deep dive look into what you're doing. Also, Alexa Skill. Alexa, yeah. So subscribe yourself to the My Song Day Rock 2000 Day Alexa Skill. What that's going to do is allow you to listen to the song of the day at any time during that day. So if you do say, hey Alexa, play my song of the day, she'll say playing your song of the day, you're going to get a 5-second intro from this guy, and you're going to hear the song in its entirety, and you can do that for 24 straight hours. So once that 24 hours is up, boom, you get a new one. You can use it to discover old bands that you've completely forgot about, or rediscover them. Discover new bands. Like, hey, I haven't heard this. Discover songs. You're like, hey, I didn't know this song was by this band. And also Small Band Saturdays, where we feature smaller bands that are trying to make it big. And we're like, you know what? Have a listen. Let's see what happens. And you can listen to the whole thing on there. And now on Instagram, with those, we're doing 30-second previews. I'm still thinking about doing 30-second previews now for everything, but I'm doing Small Band Saturday specifically on Instagram, and I'm probably going to if I can get, I'm still trying to figure out what licensing reporting I need to do, but we'll see what happens there. But all the links to the stuff is in the description below, so screw the shameless plugs, we're done with that. Well, shall we get into the meat and potatoes, or shall we get into some, I got a grievance I need to give out, because, the internet provider I have here at where I live, because I do all this shit out of my bedroom, basically. I have Spectrum, okay? And I got a huge bone to pick with them, because when I got it, they're like, yeah, we can do everything you want to do. We can do everything you need. We got these great download speeds for streaming. We got this, that. They're like, what else do you do? I'm like, well, I do a podcast. I upload stuff to my website for the Alexa skill, and I upload a bunch of videos to YouTube. I'm like, and I upload long form videos, so like, anything over 15 minutes. And they said, oh, don't worry, this will do everything that you can do, like, when you're at home. So when I'm at home, when I'm trying to upload a video, because I was uploading 1080 pixel resolution, you want to know how long it would take me when I was back in my parents' house when I would do this? It would take me like 10 minutes to maybe get a video in. Maybe 10 minutes to upload the video. When I was doing it here at my new place, and they said, oh, it'll be better, 30 minutes. Now, this is 1080p. But I decided lately, I'm like, you know what? Screw 1080p, because it just doesn't give you the best quality. It just doesn't. I want you guys to see the best quality. So I thought we're going to start doing these in Ultra 4K 2160. And to try and upload those, oh my god. So I have the upload for the Mars Island review, which will be going over today on the podcast, and the review for the Killswitch Engage album Atonement, which will be going over on the podcast as well. And you want to know how long it's been taking me to just upload one of these videos? Now, given the fact that it is 4K, it does kind of, throw me off a bit. But when I was in Amsterdam and I was trying to upload the review for Slipknot's We Are Not Your Kind video, that thing took like 15 minutes on 4K. Granted, the video resolution wasn't as good because I had to use a webcam for that one, so the file size is about 3 times as large, and specifically for the Mars Island one, about 2.5 times as large for the Killswitch Engage review. And it took over 2.5 hours to upload the Mars Island review, and that video is like 24 minutes long. Now, I've been trying to upload these simultaneously, and my computer kept like, oh, it's going to sleep, and it wouldn't upload anything, so I've been, trying to do these while I'm going to be consistently working on my computer. I'm taking a look at the Killswitch one. I started this Killswitch one. It kind of already had it in there a little bit, but, I mean, as I'm looking right now, I'm shooting this, it says 42 minutes remain. I'm at 51%, but it's been taking much longer than that. So when you're going to say, hey, we can do this stuff, yeah, we can, make sure you get a good upload speed. We can make sure this works. No, they didn't. They completely screwed me on this, because now I have to make sure I'm waiting and get this stuff done. Or if I want to go back somewhere, like go back to my parents' house or go to some place that has much better upload capabilities, yeah, I'm going to have to do that. And that just freaking sucks. I mean, come on. I asked for better upload speed because of this stuff. And they're like, yeah, we can do that. And they never did, and it just freaking blows. Now, it just completely sucks. I'm trying to put these videos up there for you. I'm trying to give you the best quality, and they're just making my life a lot harder than it needs to be. But the things won't be that way forever, due to the fact that I probably will not be in the same place that I am right now when my lease is up. And this isn't something that, if say my roommate listens to this, him and I are already, talking about this and are well aware of this. So, yeah. Just never trust the internet providers when they say they can do things for you or they're going to give you stuff, because they're probably going to just be lying to you. I do have to give them credit, though. The download speed, though, for stuff is pretty good. But upload is really what I wanted the extra for, and they just didn't get it. So, and I can't get any other internet provider because they kind of have that regional monopoly going on, and oh, God. Oh, well. Well, the fact of the matter is, right now as I'm sitting shooting this podcast, my video for the Killswitch Engage album review on Atonement is currently uploading. So why don't we start out there, but after my little frickin' rant about how bad the internet providers are, because, oh boy. I mean, how hard is it to just tell the truth and just give someone, a proper upload speed that they requested that you said you were going to give them? Mostly the one that you said you were going to give them. I just don't I just can't fathom this stuff. It really grinds my gears. Ugh, now I'm going on Peter Griffin. You know what really grinds my gears? People in the 19th century. It's called an automobile, folks. No, I don't really want to go all full Family Guy in this. I'm kind of going off a little bit of a rant. We're kind of getting sidetracked from the fact of the matter was Killswitch Engage released Atonement on August 16th. And when I say that's the biggest album release coming up in August, yeah, no, it's definitely not. Especially with last week with Slipknot coming out with We Are Not Your Kind, and Tool's album we've been waiting for, or Fear Inoculum, we've been waiting for 13 years for, coming out at the end of the month. Yeah, this one probably kind of flew under the radar for a good amount of people, but it didn't for us because we wanted to give it a listen. And this was something where I have seen Killswitch perform live before, but they were actually opening for Rise Against. I didn't really care for Killswitch at the time. I'm not really that big into Killswitch. I just have not really gotten into them due to the fact that when it comes to like really like that metalcore sound, I'm starting to get more into it, but I was never really fully immersed into it. So it's taken some time, and they really kind of have that specific metalcore style. But I don't know. Should we just go on to the album? Let's just talk about the album. So to give you a little bit of a background, this was going to be their 8th studio album, as many of you guys knew. The first since Incarnate that came out back in 2016. But the biggest thing to know on this album is lead singer Jesse Leach had vocal surgery before the album. So he's had vocal surgery. I can't remember when he did it, if it was 2017 or 2018. But there's going to be major concerns because when you have vocal surgery, that's impacting how you sing. So is that going to be something where it's going to really drag down your voice, or is it going to be something that really helps it out? Because, again, I haven't looked into it, but if something required vocal surgery in order for him to keep doing what he's doing, yeah, then you got to get it done. But there's always going to be that fear of, what's going to happen, because you never really know how that's going to end up turning out. Is it going to be, something that he said, hey, I did my vocal surgery and all of a sudden I came back and I came back strong and look at how I'm doing now? Or is it going to be something where had the vocal surgery, came back, and I just didn't sound the same and things weren't going very well and I had to give it up? Who knows? I'm hoping for the first one, but, I already know what I thought of it, but I'm just going to let you guys know, going all secret. I wonder what the first one's like. All right, well, let's just jump on into it. So when we first found out about the album, this was right at the end of June 2019, and that's when they released their first single, Unleashed. I believe they released it on the 25th or 26th of June, if I am correct. Now, taking a look at the album as a whole, when Unleashed dropped, they were talking about the meaning of the song and of this whole album as well. Now, the whole album is supposed to be meant as a reflection of perseverance and passion, the trials and suffering of our existence, and that is coming straight from Jesse Leach, and I'm not crapping on that one or bullshitting on that one because I did see that there's a review, I think Loudwire had it actually, so I took that right from there. From Unleashed, again, this is their first single. Jesse said the meaning of this one was about awakening that inner passion or rage that's been lying dormant within you. So it's, awakening that demon, that just secret thing inside you that's like, well, I'm just gonna, go about life and just not really, try and just go whatever. But if there's some inside you like, dude, go for it! This song's about that, dude, go for it! Which again, I think actually works overall within the grand scheme of the album, as the meaning goes. I was very nervous for Atonement following the release of Unleashed. And the reason I was very nervous about it was because listening to prior Killswitch albums and Killswitch songs, they all flow in a very certain way that really works. It's a very calculated move by the band. It's a very calculated move, and all of a sudden, okay, this is going to flow one way, and it's never going to really, mess up. But I just didn't really like this one because it did not have that flow. It really seemed like it was weak, especially given the fact that you're trying to talk about waking up that inner passion, that inner demon inside you that's just going to take over and have a take no prisoners attitude. Though it just did not mesh up. There was really no bite to this song, in my opinion, because when you're going with something, again, with a theme that big, you want to have something that bites, and it kind of has a bite like The Hunted by Saint Asonia did. Because when Adam Gontier came out with that song, and we listened to it at the end of July, we're like, okay, this song has that flow, but then the chorus had that bite to it, even though Adam didn't go super duper harsh on the vocals, it still worked. This one just did not have it. It had some easier sounding melodies to it as well, overall in the grand scheme of it, on this song specifically for Unleashed. And it just did the song no service or no justice. So it was kind of a stinker, and The only good thing I could take from this song specifically was that the vocal surgery that Jesse had was a success and he is not skipping a beat. So I'm like, okay. So we have that, but overall I was very nervous because I'm not sure where this whole album was going to go in the grand scheme following the lead single. Now let's go to the end of July when they released their second single. They only had 2 singles on this album. And the second single was I Am Broken Too. Now this song was a little different, a lot more experimental from the band. It was focusing on someone in Jesse's life who seemed like, fine on the outside, looked like the happiest person, but then was just not all that mentally well on the inside. Maybe he was depressed, just not happy with their life. So just having the struggles, and we can all really understand that as well because we've probably encountered people in our lives that have done that. And there are highly publicized cases of stuff like this happening where people have a lot going on inside of them. They're fighting a lot of inner demons, but they seem completely fine and happy on the outside, and we just don't know about it until it's too late. Specifically, some examples that we can all relate to are Robin Williams, and the one we can relate to the most as a rock community is Chester Bennington, and his loss is still being felt today. I mean, I'll get into that later because when I was on Mars Island, there was something I was doing, and you could still feel that he had an impact. But I'm gonna digress onto that. But this song, it did have that. It had a slower than normal Killswitch Engage pace to it. It wasn't it's the slowest song on the album, but it wasn't like the slowest song, like a real slow song where it's gonna have a lot of just it's gonna be super duper melodic and it's just gonna have that flow where you're gonna want to just like kind of just sway back and forth to. It doesn't have that, but them using that slower than average sound than what they're previously known for. On this one, they did it very well, in my opinion, because Jesse's vocals, he really goes mostly clean, and he doesn't really get that harsh, unclean sound in there a lot, and that was the right move on this one, given the fact that he's talking about something that's a little bit more personal to himself, and just kind of just expressing that in a way that's on a little bit more of I want to say more of a heartfelt tone, because it really did work here. And specifically when you get the instrumentation on this one, it still gave it a darker tone, like the darker that, you're going through some stuff on the inside and you might not be showing it because you don't want to, which again is totally understandable because there's a lot of people out there that do end up doing that. Like they try and hide things and bottle them in, myself included. But it did give that little bit more of a hopeful tone. Like you can do something about it. You can, you can get back to your what you define as your happiness. And there is help out there for you. So it had this darker but yet more hopeful tone to it. And I really like that kind of a mix because again, you have that little bit of a softer sound, but it really meshes well with the meaning of the song. So now at this point I thought, okay, I did not really care for the first single because it just didn't have the bite, it just didn't have the drive, it just didn't have anything that Killswitch Engage really known for outside of Jesse's vocals. The second one was very experimental for the band, which I did enjoy how they did it. But I'm like, okay, what are we gonna get from the album? Now I'm nervous but curious at the same time. So I'm not gonna go through the rest of them song by song. If you want to see our song by song analysis of each of these, please go to our YouTube channel because the day after this podcast releases, the whole album review release on that one. But I will highlight a couple of songs as I go through here. And so when it dropped on August 16th, 2019. I believe the first song that everyone's eyes just locked onto was The Signal Fire. And that's the second song on the record. Now, why would people's eyes and a lot of fans' eyes lock onto that song? Well, it had a feature on it. It featured Howard Jones. Now, for those of you who don't know who Howard Jones is currently the frontman for the band Light the Torch. I actually really like Light the Torch. I think they're a good band. I think that they've got a lot of promise coming to them. But Howard Jones used to be the lead singer for Killswitch Engage. So now he's got a collaboration between the current lead singer of Killswitch Engage with Jesse and who was, the lead singer before Howard came in, and Howard came in the middle, and now you're going to have a mixture between the two. How is this going to work? Because it's going to get fans really excited because you're going to have that mix between old and new and old. So you're going to get to see what happens there. And you're going to get to see that there's really no love lost between the band and the guy and Howard or just the guys overall. Because if you're going to come together and have a feature on, one of your songs, one of your former vocalists, I mean, how cool is that? So this one was very highly anticipated. It also talked about, keeping hope in the dark times and helping those in need. So I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool that they're collaborating together on something like this because it kind of works because you never know when someone that you used to really know and care about might be in need. And if you can help, maybe why not give us some help? So took a listen to this one and looked all over Instagram, all over Twitter, and as people were talking about the album, this one was coming up as the consensus favorite, and I have to agree with people because it has this classic Killswitch Engage metalcore construction of the song overall. And the fans absolutely loved it when I looked at it because they said it was full of intensity. It's exactly what they want in a song when you're mixing Howard and Jesse together. So it basically gave them exactly what they wanted. And when it comes to that mixture between Jesse's vocals and Howard's vocals, I thought this was done incredibly well overall. I really liked how it gave it this like multiple different dimensions of sound to it. This was a great move by Killswitch Engage to have these two on a track together. It sounds fantastic. This is clearly the best song on the record. The Signal Fire featuring Howard Jones on Killswitch Engage's newest album, Atonement. This is the one you want to listen to, and the fans were going goo goo gaga for this one. Now, a couple other songs I want to jump into as well, and one is The Crownless King. Ooh, my phone went buzz buzz. Let's see what buzz buzz meant. Oh, it's a Amazon Marketplace email. Whoop-de-doo! That's going to get deleted. So let's go to The Crownless King. This is number 4 on Atonement. And now, when I saw The Crownless King, I'm like, this is definitely going to be a political statement song. We'll see what happens. And, I mean, you look at the lyrics, it does not, go away from that. Now, this one has a feature on it as well with Chuck Billy of Testament, which I thought, ooh, okay, this is interesting. You're getting 2 features right off the bat, especially we're through 4 songs, and with I'm Broken 2 being number 5, it's like, okay, so we have 2 features and the 2 singles in 4 of the first 5 songs. Very interesting. Now let's talk about The Crownless King a little bit more. Construction-wise, when I listen to the song, it sounded a lot construction-wise just like the Signal Fire. So again, it's going to have the classic Killswitch Engage metalcore sound, which I think, the fans that really love the band are going to go absolutely ape crazy for. And I think they did. When it comes to Chuck Billy's feature, it's not as good as Howard Jones's, but it is good as well because he kind of gives you a little bit more of a cleaner dimension to the song. Not that multiple different dimensions that Howard gave the Signal Fire, but he does really well on this one just to kind of, again, give that cleaner dimension to the song as you're going through it. It's nothing out of the ordinary from the guys on Killswitch Engage when it comes to this type of song, but again, it's something that's done really well because they mastered that craft. And when it comes to bringing people into the song and having them on features, yeah, something definitely like this really works. I just want to see where else can we go here. There is one of those real song I really want to hit hard on is number 8, Take Control. So this one, I looked at the meaning on this one and I was trying to figure it out. I think it's, taking ownership of your own mental state, kind of like just taking responsibility and taking accountability so that you can force yourself to make the change that you want to make the change in your life. So it's kind of like taking that accountability, as I said it. The intro to this one really brought me in because it was slowed down, but it felt like a slowed down Trivium style song. I'm like, oh, okay, now we're getting into something. So I thought it was interesting. I liked the move because it was, we had a lot of classic Killswitch Engage style songs up to this point. And I'm like, okay, this is a little bit different. So overall in this one, they kind of go with that more hard rock style than that metalcore style, which they've done throughout most of the album, except for maybe I Am Broken 2. And I really like what they did with this one because I do like that hard rock sound. I like the move to make that, change to give to the album a little bit more of an extra dimension where you're not specifically focusing on just this full-on classic Killswitch Engage metalcore sound. The bridge and guitar solo in this song, I gotta say, fantastic. Just absolutely fantastic. Jesse's vocals on this one, he just focuses more on the clean vocals on this one, which kind of drives with that slower pace. And I really do like that move too because it fits with that hard rock style. However, in the chorus, this is where I kind of like, you really missed an opportunity on this one, guys, because he does have clean vocals in the chorus, but I thought if he kind of just upped the pitch at times, kind of give it a little bit more of an added intensity to it, this song could have potentially taken the Signal Fire over as what I thought would have been the number 1 song on the record, but it didn't. It comes in at number 2 for me because I think they missed that opportunity there. But that's where it goes. The one other song I'm really going to go into specifically is the last one. It's called Bite the Hand That Feeds. Now, Bite the Hand That Feeds, there's always a classic saying, don't bite the hand that feeds you, because if you do, all of a sudden you're not going to get fed. It's, classic, metaphor from a farm. Now, this one is a little bit different because it still has that metalcore sound with it. and it kind of tries to up the intensity. Jesse goes with more unclean vocals, but it sounds like at this moment, it's like, this sounds like something that's, classic Killswitch Engage. I really did not like this song. It left a huge sour taste in my mouth because this is the closer on the album. It just felt so sloppy, like everything was thrown together. I know I've said it before, but sounds like a song where you put a bunch of post-it notes up on a wall and you start dragging them down and put them together. I've heard a couple of those on like Slipknot's We Are Not Your Kind, where it just felt like they were just thrown together all at once. And it was like, okay, let's see if this works. With previously constructed ideas. But I just really didn't like this one. It just kind of felt like it was run together and put together at the last minute, especially as a political statement song, like it was needed on there. It left a real bad taste in my mouth to what will for sure end up being a classic Killswitch Engage album. And the reason I say that is because most of the time throughout this whole entire album, they really stick to that classic Killswitch Engage sound. And what I mean by that is like they have that specific metalcore flowing sound that they can really hit home on, and they really doubled down on most of the songs. They didn't experiment all that much, but they did a little bit. So if you're a huge Killswitch Engage fan and you really like that sound, this is going to be an album where you're like, I absolutely love this album. And I can totally feel that, and I can totally understand that, because when I did my album review on Victorious by Skillet, when Skillet goes with that harder rock sound, I really do like it. So on Victorious, when they went through with that, I was a huge fan of it. When it comes to Killswitch Engage's overall sound, I enjoy it, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. But there's a lot of fans out there, that's what they really wanted, and they really hit hard on it. It had that just classic sound from Killswitch Engage from start to finish, not really missing a beat very much overall. Now, I did like times when they experimented too, like on I Am Broken 2, which I talked about, and Take Control. It really shows there, and I'm gonna have to say it again, The Signal Fire, best song on the record. But where I got really kind of concerned with this song is, the biggest thing is, again, the lead single and the ending song just kind of not really meshing together. But the biggest thing in the middle of it was, as I like to put it, just missed opportunities here. And what I mean by that is some of these song constructions, yeah, I think they're good song constructions, but it feels like at times they could have made these songs just one step different, like take a little bit of a different approach on a certain aspect of the song, and could have made it so much better. And let me just kind of scroll through. I'm gonna go to Us Against the World on this one, song number 3 on the album, and why I think there was a missed opportunity here is just because I thought this one would have been better suited as that full-on smoke show metalcore sound that The Signal Fire had, versus kind of what they went with on this one, and the lyrics on this one were rather bland. Let's see, what's another one? As Sure as the Sun Will Rise, I'm going to go with that one too, because I thought they could have experimented a little bit more on this one and gone away from that classic Killswitch Engage sound, which they really didn't do. I thought they should have slowed it down just a tidbit. Not as much as they did on Iron Broken 2, but I thought that could have worked. And on the chorus, I think they could have used, again, a higher pitch. So again, missed opportunity there. Know Your Enemy, another missed opportunity, because I did really like how the change that they did in the instrumentation between the middle and the first verse, but in the chorus, they had like this call and response style. It just felt lazy. It felt like they redid the chorus. They really could have made one hell of a song. Let's see, what else do we have here? And then Ravenous and I Can't Be the Only One. I think the missed opportunities here was these songs. They're good songs, I'm not going to lie, but they just don't have really any discerning quality that other songs have in front of them. Like there's songs like, again, like Take Control that had that hard rock sound, which I believe, which one was it that has more of that hard rock? I think it might be I Can't Be the Only One. Yeah, I Can't Be the Only One. Take Control has a much better hard rock sound to it, and I Can't Be the Only One is a good song. But I could not remember for the life of me as I went through the album. And Ravenous, I like it, but it just completely gets overshadowed by a lot of other songs. So, not the biggest fan of how that happens. So, overall, in my rating of it, I gave Atonement by Killswitch Engage a 6 out of 10. Now, 6 out of 10, that's not too bad. I mean, I gave Slipknot We Are Not Your Kind a 4.5. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones I gave. Volbeat got like a 5. But I was kind of talking recently. Skillet got a 9. But for Killswitch Engage's Atonement, I'm going to give it a 6. I kind of just went through why. However, if you are a huge Killswitch Engage fan and you really like that sound, you're going to think this album is awesome. And No disrespect on that. I totally understand that. For the average listener, like myself, I'm like, you know what? There are parts that I really do like. There's parts where I think they really could have done so much better, where they just kind of like missed an opportunity. But whatever, that happens. No big deal. Just go on with it, go on with the life, and enjoy the album. Do I think it's an album of the year candidate? Oh, man, probably not, no. Because I'm thinking about going through my mind, like, who have the album of the year candidates right now? And this one is, or Atonement by Killswitch Engage does not beat anything right now in the top 5, and I always go with top 5 and narrow it down to number 1. But this one will nowhere near be, near a worst album of the year. It's not going to be anywhere near that category. It'll probably end up being in the upper half of the total albums that we review the whole entire year, but it's not going to be in the top 5 to have a chance to get that number 1 spot. But yeah, so that's Killswitch Engage's Atonement, as thought by me. But now I'm going to talk about Mars Island because, well, I was on vacation for 8 days, or actually like a full-on 7 days, because my plane left Chicago on August 7th. It was a Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. I landed in Chicago at 6:30 p.m. on August 14th. So I basically had a whole week. But so what I do on this week, now you guys had heard about it, you probably had seen it and heard me talk about it, that I was going to Mars Island. It is a big thing that the band 30 Seconds to Mars puts on every single year for the past couple of years, but they haven't done it in an island yet. They've always done it at this place in Malibu, and this year's the last year they're doing it in Malibu as well. But I went in 2018. I met some incredible people out there. And when I saw they were going to do it in Croatia, I thought, well, hell yeah, I got to go. So I got my ticket right when they went on sale. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have myself a little European vacation. Euro trip. Woohoo! So I thought, okay, we're going to go to Croatia. But then, the thing ends. I'm going to get back into the town or whatever, back to the mainland, but I'll tell you where the town is. But I had to get back to the mainland on Monday, so I'm like, well, I don't want to go home right away. I need to spend a couple of days somewhere else, so I need to plan my trip out a little bit better. And I decided I'm going to Amsterdam for 2 days. Don't worry, I'm not going to get in that whole Amsterdam story because, well, sometimes it's, necessarily not safe for work, and well, I don't really want to put it on the Chord Progression podcast because this is mostly about music. So let's go into the whole entire thing with Mars Island. So by the time I got out to Croatia, the port that we left in was in a town called Sibnik. It was about 45 minutes north of the town this place called Split. And Split has a little airport there. That's where I flew into. So I flew from Chicago to Barcelona, then Barcelona to Split. Hung out there for a day with 2 of my friends that I did meet at Camp Mars 2018. So they met up with me about an hour after I got there, and we ended up going out to eat and just kind of chilling out by the water and having a good couple of beers. It was a good time, being able to catch up with them, hang out with them. Then the next day, we had to wait to get on the ferry to get over to Mars Island. And we were just kind of drinking, walking around with our stuff. But once we got on the ferry and go over the island, it's like, okay, where are we going? And this island was just amazing. I mean, they had a resort on there. I believe it was called, I can't remember what it was called. I mean, I'm going to kill myself. Let me look it up because I know one of my buddies who I met there. I'll talk about him as well. But I just want to make sure I get the name of the place right. It was Obanjan. So Obonjan. So that was the name of the island, name of the resort that they had this on. And we went there, and it was just like, okay, this is absolutely insane. You pull in, and right over there is kind of looks like some weird amphitheater style thing. But then the base is the Adriatic Sea, so it's just the water that's there. Like, holy shit, this is awesome! So we go there, and the first night I'm there, pretty much it's me and my 2 friends. We're staying in a tent on the south end of the island, and we're kind of right at all the way at the end, so we're kind of by ourselves. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. We're right by the water, looking out over everything, and holy shit, I'm like, this is the perfect place to kind of just be calm, be relaxed, be chill. So the first night we're there is Friday night. We're just kind of bouncing around, just kind of seeing what's going on, not doing too much. And it seemed like a lot of people were going to bed kind of early. So what I decided to do was take my computer, because that was also the day We Are Not Your Kind by Slipknot came out, and I wanted to do the review on that one, because if it was a lot of other bands at that time, when I was going to be doing it, I'm like, you know what, I probably would have said no. I probably would have just said, you know what, screw it, who really cares, I don't have the time to do it. But when it's a band like Slipknot and the kind of followers that they have, I'm like, I have to do an album review on this one. So I sat up by the water late at night, and just wrote down my thoughts on the album as I listened to it, gone through the review. When I was finally finished with it, I was going to close my computer for the night because it was like 11 o'clock out at their time, and I was going to go back to my tent and just kind of sleep and wake up early in the morning and try and shoot it right out where I wrote it. So I had my webcam with me. I was all set and ready to go. However, they were going to be having this stargazing right by us. And I'm like, just there's a bunch of people here. Let's start talking to people, see what happens. I ended up basically kind of just talking with a couple people. But then for like an hour and a half, I was talking with these two girls that were from Germany. I think it was Frankfurt or Hamburg. One of the two. No, Hamburg. Yeah, Hamburg, I believe it was. So I was talking with them, and we were kind of just having a good time. They're hearing all my freaking crazy stories, like this. Again, the story from my Under Oath Skillet and Breaking Benjamin show when I lost my shoes in the mosh pit. Yeah, I told that story. Everyone's like, "Holy shit, that's an amazing story." I said, "Well, yeah, why wouldn't it be? It's great." I also was telling them some other crazy stories about when I met my full-time job and I people. So I kind of just like walk past people, and if I like kind of like walking through a door, all of a sudden I might just stick my head and go chicka and try and get my head out as fast as possible. So it's like you hear it and you look back and then I'm not there. I've done it really well a couple of times, but it's kind of hard to pull off. So, okay, in the morning, now it's the first real full day, like Saturday morning, I'm there, and I wake up super early, and if you watch the Slipknot We Are Not Your Kind album review on YouTube right now, you can actually see the sunrise right up alongside me. You're not going to see the actual sunrise, but you can look at my face, you can see how much the light changes. It's actually really cool, and it was one of my favorite videos to shoot, because I got to go, and do it somewhat, I'll put it this way, on location. I thought it was fun, I thought it was fantastic, and I really want to do it again. But I'm not sure I'm going to find a place that cool because that was just absolutely insane. I loved it. So throughout most of the next day, it was, well, let's get something to eat. And all of a sudden, what do we want to do? Well, the whole entire thing is we're on an island. There's a lot of water around. So let's go and hang up by the water all day. Okay, cool. So we go to the water, and my two friends I'm with, one of them, she's originally from the Ukraine and now lives, I believe, in Connecticut, and the other one's from England. So, and I'm here in Wisconsin. So, of course, we're all pasty as all hell, and the sunscreen they have in Croatia, it's like SPF 30, that's what I got, and it didn't really do me very much justice for my pastiness, so I dealt with some sunburn. Well, mostly on my shoulders, it's still kind of peeling right now, and my nose, but, you get what you get. But I was like, I'm not missing this opportunity. So I ended up going kayaking. So we go kayaking, paddleboarding, snorkeling. I didn't go paddleboarding. I went kayaking twice. I'll tell you each time. So the first time I went kayaking, I kind of just went by myself. I'm not going to really tell the full story of kayaking on that end, but I was kind of hanging out, just going around a couple different islands. Almost went around one, just kind of chilled there for like 20 minutes, just looking out, just enjoying, just kind of take it all, like, holy shit, look where I am. Then the second day when I went kayaking, this was with a guy I met there. His name is Ilya, one of the coolest guys I've ever met. Him and I took a kayak, and we were bouncing around to all the boats that were sitting out there, boats that weren't, associated with us, asking them if they had beer because, well, we were thirsty. We wanted some beer and wanted to party with some people. So we finally got to one boat, and they said, yeah, come around to the other side. We're like, cool. So we kayak around to the other side, and there's another group of kayakers from Mars Island there drinking with them, two women. We're like, oh, okay. So we kind of just had a party by ourselves for like 20, 25 minutes. It was a lot of fun. And we were supposed to get more beer from them, but when they showed up, they only picked up the girls and not us. Not surprised, though. But still, made kayaking a lot of fun. Then, the rest of the time, I was pretty much swimming both days. Like, just jump in the water, just enjoying. It was so nice in the water. It was crystal clear. I could see the bottom even when I was completely out in the middle of, I'm not sure how deep it would have gone down, like 60, 70 feet maybe. Yeah, I could still see to the bottom. It was that clear. So if you ever have a chance to go out to the Adriatic Sea in Croatia, you can easily see the bottom of the water. It is beautiful. So swimming out there a lot. I did a little bit of snorkeling, just kind of see what was going on underneath, and it was just a lot of just hanging out and having a really good time. Trying to think of some of the other activities that we did. I mean, you could tie-dye shirts. I believe we did that on Friday. Stone carving, did that some of that Friday and Saturday. Trying to think what else I really kind of did. I mean, there's a bunch of other things you could do, but but the main thing that people were really going for in this one, like for the activities purpose that you could do, just whatever you felt like, was always just go swimming, because what kind of other opportunity are you going to get to go swimming in the Adriatic Sea? You're probably not. So this was definitely the way to go about it, and we definitely took full advantage of it. But Remember, this is something that 30 Seconds to Mars put on, so of course 30 Seconds to Mars is gonna be involved. Now I'm gonna jump to Saturday, so it's about 3 o'clock on Saturday, and Jared Leto and Shan Leto arrive, and kind of everyone's like, "Oh my God, how's it going? Yeah, woo!" You know, everyone's kind of jacked up to see them, and they're kind of like saying welcome, yada yada yada. They were actually staying on a different island than we were. I think we were staying on the next one. So I was like, "Oh, you guys are kind of on a different island. That's weird." But whatever, you know, that kind of thing happens. You know, maybe they've been touring for like I don't know how long in Europe. I know it just ended, so they probably wanted to get away from everybody. But I kind of felt a little bit of slighted because when it was Mars Island or Camp Mars, they pretty much like were with us the whole entire time, and this time weren't with us nearly as much. But and again, this is the first time they did it on an island, so kind of you know you got to get used to it. Yeah. Now the first night, so this is the concert the first night. So yeah, there's always they always play two shows, Friday or Saturday night and Sunday night. So Saturday night's show, all the people that bought like the VIP packages for this could be down on the floor in front of the little amphitheater stage, and everybody else kind of had to be up like you know on this seats on the bleachers. Well, those are the bleachers, just like stone carved seats. But we got there, and I had to sit pretty much up top because well, I don't have the money to spend on that VIP shit. I just don't. But if I want to be there, I was gonna do it, you know, my way. But I had to sit up top for the first one, and the show they put on was the show that they have been putting on during their recent tour in Europe. So they're playing, you know, a lot of the songs that you'd expect them to play now. So I mean by expect them to play now, they played a lot of stuff off of their fourth album, Love, Lust, Faith, and Dreams, and off their fifth album, America. They had a couple of songs, I think like 3 or 4, the first night off of, or maybe only 2 or 3, off of This Is War. And then they played only 3 songs off of Beautiful Lie, none off their original self-titled album. But, you know, I know they don't play a lot off of that anyway, so we weren't expecting that much. Overall, Shannon was putting in the work. He was going nuts the whole entire time. Jared seemed a little bit like the energy wasn't necessarily fully there. Don't necessarily know why, but, you know, sometimes, you know, you're just not feeling it. But the energy just didn't seem all there where it could have been. Stevie, their kind of guy that sits in the background, he does some backing vocals, the guitar work, the keyboard work. He was just, you know, doing his own thing in the back, still doing just fine. So nothing really changed there. Overall, the show, I mean, it was an enjoyable show to go see. I just wish the energy was way, 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 way up because I'm used to high energy shows, okay? That's just the way it is. I mean, take a look at the concert schedule I have coming up in the next, 2 months. Just thinking about it. I've got, I've already forgot who I got. Pennywise and Anti-Flag, Rise Against, Slayer, Fever 333, Motionless in White, Disturbed, In This Moment, and Ice Nine Kills. I mean, I'm used to that high energy stuff, and it's like, I need that kind of high energy, and I know the band can do it, but it just didn't seem like it was fully there on the first night. At the end of the first night, though, we got to do an activity with Shannon, and this is one of the coolest activities that, probably the coolest single activity at Mars Island. They did this at Camp Mars last year, but this year, they did it both nights. Well, you could do both nights if you wanted to. So it's a drum circle. So after the show is over, everyone kind of goes to this one spot. You get drumsticks and you can take like a bucket or something and just wait for and drum along with Shannon. Myself, being the former drummer I kind of tried to set up a little kit for myself, having some fun. I was always trying to learn, remember and relearn Chop Suey by System of a Down because that was my favorite song to play, and I kind of wanted to get up and play on Shannon's kit, but because I remember last year he asked people to come up and, play. So the first night, he asked people that come up that actually knew how to play. And I kind of wanted to go up there, but I didn't because I saw how good some of the other people that went up there were. And I was not going to be able to play Chop Suey just like that. It just wasn't going to work out very well. I couldn't get it. I knew exactly how it went. It went 1 and a 2 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 flam. Like I knew how it went. I just couldn't remember exactly which drum to hit. So that was not good. But I still enjoyed it nonetheless because Shannon really got involved with everybody, and the drum circle is always a fun thing to do. So now we're going to jump into the second day. And I pretty much stuffed myself with breakfast because I had pancakes. I haven't eaten pancakes in a long time, and I was going to eat me some pancakes. And as we kept going on, so we kind of just were exploring. No, that was Monday we did that. So I'm going to digress. So back to Sunday. Again, did a lot more swimming, but we also got to do an activity with Jared. And this one was a little interesting overall. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but here's basically what happened. So we're all waiting, and Jared asked everyone to be dressed in white. So everyone's wearing like white, like all white clothes. Then there's me. I've got my white 30 Seconds to Fucking Mars t-shirt on. I'm still wearing, I was wearing black athletic shorts, my black Minnesota shorts, I believe. Was I? Yeah, I was. So kind of having some fun with that. And while we were waiting, me and my buddy Elio were sitting way in the back. We were kind of just hanging out, doing nothing. All of a sudden, we started having a talk with Stevie. So we end up talking with Stevie. Jared comes in, and we're still talking to Stevie. Dude is a really relaxed guy, just kind of like us. He actually stayed on the island with us, so we saw him all the time. Real nice guy. Really enjoy him. I wish he can become a full member of the band, but if he's happy just being in the background right now, dude, just keep rocking with it. You're doing just fine. Love it, man. But we got to talk to him for a good deal during probably the first 5-10 minutes during the Jared's activity, which was just kind of like a Q&A session in the end, which I'm like, oh, okay. We kind of just, like, last year we did a thing where we got to listen to some unreleased music or some songs that, have been released, but what their prior versions sounded like. And I know the year before that, one of our friends said back in 2017 that for Jared's activity, they got to listen to Walk on Water before it got released to the public. So I kind of hoping for something like that, but Q&A session, whatever, it happens. Then, Jared decided, hey, we're going to go down by the water and we're going to take a whole group picture with everybody. So everyone go down there, and I was staying up on a table, and I had this flag I made. Now, if you watch the preview of this podcast on Facebook or Instagram, you may have seen a little bit of the flag up on my wall because I put it right above my bed right next to my Monolith Tour North America 2018 poster I got the previous year at Camp Mars. But so the flag I made, I wanted to make a flag because I did last year, and I took the American flag and I did something on Adobe Illustrator where the outsides of the flag are completely and utterly untouched. But as you go in, the tint just starts to get darker and darker until you get to the middle, and it's just all black. And then I put their triad symbol in white on it, and I stood up on a table, and Jared absolutely loved it. He's like, dude, I absolutely love that flag. I'm just like, I gave him a thumbs up, like, doing something right here. And so the flag was Jared approved. Loved it. And a lot of people knew me for the flag, too. So a lot of people knew me when I was walking around there for 3 things. 1, always wore a Brewers hat. 2, I had the American 30 Seconds to Mars flag. And, excuse me. 3, I did this last year, and I was going to do this year. I was always playing music out of my backpack from a mini speaker, and I was never going to play 30 Seconds to Mars on this mini speaker because we were going to listen to them anyway. People had them, like, we were down by the water. People, like, had their music playing over the PA system. It's like, we're going to listen to them anyway. Do we have to listen to them? Me, I'm walking around and just playing my own music. Mostly Linkin Park, though, because on the ferry over, I was playing music, and I stuck to pretty much Linkin Park, and my speaker died right before we got into the port, and it died right at the beginning of the chorus of In the End, so everyone was singing, I've tried so hard and got so far. Everyone was having a good time with it, and everyone knew me because I was always playing music as I was walking around, so I was just playing, Linkin Park, mostly playing some Mayday Parade, some Blink-182, some Fall Out Boy, some Sleeping with Sirens, some Pierce the Veil. I did a little bit of Rise Against because, of course, I did. When I was walking by myself, though, a couple of times, I would have to listen to, Skillet or Motionless in White, just kind of change it up a little bit, be more myself at the moment. Even though listening to all that other stuff is being myself, I just kind of wanted to get more into just what I wanted to listen to at that point. So everyone kind of knew who I was at that point. It was kind of cool. But I was definitely not the most famous or most popular of the just attendees. That is always going to be reserved for Captain Mars, aka Gustavo, one of the nicest guys you will ever meet. So now I'm going to go back to this group photo. We're going to take it on one side, and all of a sudden it's like, oh no, lighting's not good. So everyone walk over to the other side. I knew how much time it was going to take. Plus, we're going to do the band meet and greet photos after. So I said, screw this. I've been in saltwater. I smell like shit, and I'm sweaty as hell. So I'll just take a cold shower just to rinse off. The cold rinse. And then it's like, okay, please wear white to the concert. Well, I wasn't going to wear my 30 Seconds to Fucking Mars shirt to the concert because I was all sweaty in it. So I purposely picked out for this. I'll put it this way. I purposely picked out this when I found out we were doing the white thing, but I didn't know we were doing the white thing for the all wear all white until the day I got there. on the island. So I had my baseball tee Rise Against shirt with the home White Sox jersey style from back in the 70s. And I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely going with that because, dude, the meet and greet photo with a Rise Against shirt with 30 Seconds of Mars, gotta love it. So we're going to do the meet and greet photo. And you can see the meet and greet photo on our Instagram page because I know I posted on my personal one, which doesn't have that many photos, but it has that one. But you can see it on the My Song Day Rock 2000 a Day Instagram page. And it was one of the coolest things because they did the meet and greet photo outside, down by the water, as the sun was setting. So it created a shit ton of good pictures for everybody. Now me, I'm like, okay, I'm going to take my flag with me because I want to get the flag in the picture, but I also want to make sure I don't look too stupid. So I put my sunglasses on because I didn't want to, have my eyes closed during the picture. You take a look at the picture, the flag kind of really got cropped out of there. But I mean, it's one of the coolest pictures I've ever taken in my entire life. After the picture was taken, Jared told me that he loved the flag and he loved the Rise Against shirt. And I was like, oh, there we go. Just having fun with it. And still, coolest photo ever. So the second night, so again, now it's a Sunday night. We're in the concert, and now I get to be down on the floor, and I'm talking with my friends, talking with people that they met as well, like the new people I met, the people that they've met. So now we're in this one huge group, and everyone's trying to tell me, you got to get up on stage because of the flag, and even people that I wasn't even sure, dude, you got to get up on stage because of that flag. On Sunday night, they never invite anyone up on stage, which kind of stunk, but you know what? Up to them. Now let's get into the show. So the concert starts, and they play 8 or 9 songs off of This Is War. I think they played 8, because I know they went with Night of the Hunter. They played the intro song. They played Kings and Queens, This Is War, Search and Destroy, Hurricane. I know there was one other one in Vox Paloopi they played, L490. So yeah, we're 8. And then they saved Closer to the Edge till the end, so that was number 9. But they weren't going to play the whole album because the whole entire purpose of them doing the last year at Camp Mars in Malibu is the 10-year anniversary of This Is War. So they're like, yeah, if you want to listen to us play the whole album, you got to come out to Malibu. Okay, I totally understand it, totally understand it. The energy during the first portion when they were playing a lot of This Is War, the energy, again, Shannon and Stevie on point. Jared's energy was absolutely insane during this, and the fans' energy was just as insane. So finally, I'm like, this is the kind of energy I really want to be a part of. It is up there. I am feeling it. Oh man, it might rain outside, and I got my laundry outside. Whatever, we're still finishing this podcast. Who cares? So the energy was absolutely insane up to this point. But then once we got through 8 songs, all of a sudden, Shannon came out and sang his song Remedy. So all the girls were like, oh my God! And I'm just like, well, I kind of expected this to happen. Then Jared comes back out, and it's story time with Jared. I'm like, okay, we had so much great energy in the first half. Can we get that back, man? Can we get that back? They were playing a lot of acoustic stuff, a couple of acoustic songs, but it was mostly just talking back and forth. I got a little annoyed with it because we just did Q&A with Jared 6 hours beforehand. I didn't want to do more. So again, let's go into so then they ended the concert with Closer to the Edge, and the energy just got brought right back up. So I was feeling it, feeling good, feeling fine. And the second night after the concert, yeah, we went to do the drum circle. Well, me and one of my friends, we went to go do the drum circle. Did the drum circle, and this time Shannon was bringing up a lot of people that didn't know how to play the drums. I was still trying to figure out Chop Suey during the day by watching YouTube videos, but I just couldn't get it. But I'm like, well, now I got to get myself one of those electronic kits just so I can, play by myself and just kind of play the drums by myself, not play with myself. Get your mind out of the gutter, people. And just have a good time with it and rekindle my love for playing drums back when I was 10, 11 years old. Just redo it again because playing on those buckets felt like so much fun. The next day, everyone was leaving at different ferry times. I was the only person on my ferry that I knew. I was like, oh man, because a lot of my friends were leaving at noon. I left at 11. My buddy Ilya left early in the morning at 8. So I'm like, oh geez, this is going to be great. So we leave to go to the, I get on the ferry, we're leaving, or I'm leaving, I should say, and get off the ferry. No, I've got 15 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, before my cab comes to pick me up and take me to the airport. And I'm like, shoot, I really could use another Ojusko, the Croatian beer, because I really liked it. I get off, I look across the street, and who is sitting there with 3 other people that I had met at Camp Mars, or Mars Island, but Ilya. And he's like, dude, come over. So I went over, and I had a beer with him right before my cab picked me up. It was awesome. Overall, so again, this overall the Mars Island experience. For you, if you're listening, should you go to Mars Island or Camp Mars or 30 Seconds to Mars? I'm going to say it depends. If you don't like the band, don't go. Just because you're not going to have a good time because it's really focused all around the band. So if you're not in their music, I mean, I'm just going to make it easy for you. You're going to have a funner time somewhere else. If you like the band, though, on what level do you like the band should you go? I would say this, if you really enjoy any of their... If you're kind of like where I sit with them, kind of where it's like, yeah, I really like kind of like... If you really like their like newer stuff, oh yeah, definitely go. If you really like their older stuff, though, it's still worth going easily because I have a great time there every single time I go. Plus, especially now with this year being the last year they're doing Malibu, but they're going to be doing like other locations. Who knows where you might be able to travel? You might be able to travel to freaking Germany or to Russia or to, maybe they're going to do one in the Caribbean or maybe South America or Australia. Who knows? But it's just a great way to be like, okay, I'm going to travel. And this is kind of like the one thing I want to do when I travel is go to whatever Mars Island or Camp Mars is, spend there like 3 days there. And then all of a sudden now you're kind of like, you're out there. It forces you out there and it gets you to go to other places. Like with me, because I didn't want to just go there. I wanted to do something else afterwards. So I'm like, what city am I going to go to? I kind of want to go to Dublin because, well, Irish beer, why not? But then I thought, that's all I'd be doing there, just be drinking my ass off. But let's go, why not Amsterdam? There's so much more to do there. So I decided, screw it, I'm going to Amsterdam for 2 days. I'm not going to go I'm not going to go the whole Amsterdam story because I went down there, I drank both nights, I ended up just walking around a lot, having a good time. I went to the Heineken brewery, I saw an Ajax match just based off of it, and it was the wildest 40 hours of my life because I'm not going to go into any of the other stuff they have because there is a lot more, but I just don't want to share it on the podcast because, again, all about music. But I do want to share this, though. When I did all this stuff, when it came to going out there, my only plan was go to Mars Island in Croatia. So that was the only real thing I actually had set in stone from when the plane took off from Chicago. And I was basically on the no plan. So anytime something came up, I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to do it. So look, and it worked out tremendously. It was the best decision I ever made because all of a sudden you get to Croatia. I'm like, my friends are here. What do you want to do? Let's just go and like check out the little town and let's see what happens. And we get to just drink with each other, have a good time, and just sit out by the water and meet a good amount of people. Then when I'm in Amsterdam, it's like, let's go get some food here that this basically the driver that took me from the airport to my hotel suggested because he said it was really good, and it was. And I'm drinking with a bunch of people in the red light district like crazy both nights. It was insane. It was just so much fun drinking with them because everyone was having a good time. I was having a good time with everybody. We're just walking around getting lost for like 4 or 5 hours. I had no clue where I was. And it was fantastic because I just enjoyed it. I got to actually see the whole entire city. People were telling me, go to the Van Gogh Museum or go to the Anne Frank House. And I decided, I'm going to the Heineken Brewery because I'm a big beer drinker. I like beer. Why not go? And I enjoyed it immensely. But when I got there the first night and I was eating, I put some out on Facebook. I'm like, looks like the adventure continues. My brother said, dude, go see an Ajax match if you can. I said, well, if they're there tomorrow, then maybe. He said, they're there tomorrow. They're in a Champions League qualifier. I had to take it 5 minutes later because I'm like, no, I can't pass this up. And everything else I'm not really going to go into, though. I mean, this was the wild and best 40 hours I've ever had in my entire life. So it just gave me the want to just like, see the world, but then also be on the no plan because if I'm on the no plan, man, I get to do as much fun stuff as I can. When I went to Daytona, my dad and I were on the no plan except for going to the races, and him and I got drunk at Disney World with his cousins. I mean, come on, that's a great no plan. When I was out in California, I just was walking around, I got into some shenanigans. I was on the no plan. The no plan when traveling is the way to go. And not only that, but man, could you imagine if I wasn't doing this? Like, I'll put it this way. Yes, there are times where it's like, I see a lot of people out there, a lot of my friends, they're in relationships, they're getting married, some of them are having kids now even, and it's like you found the person you really want to be with, that's great. And, at times you kind of do crave that, you kind of do want that because like you really want that one connection with somebody. However,
I always got to put it in perspective because at the moment right now, being 24 years old and doing all this insane stuff, so doing the Mars Island thing, going to going to Mars Island, doing Amsterdam, having the best week of my life and the craziest 40 hours in Amsterdam I've ever had in my entire life. Crazy, most awesome. I mean, you name it. Like, as long as it's super positive, yeah, that's how to describe it. But then also, like, I'm thinking about too, look at all the concerts I've gone to this year already. I mean, I saw Disturbed for the first time. I'm seeing him again. I mean, and then let's see who else. The Skillet Under Oath Breaking Benjamin show I got to see. Seeing Atreyu and Motionless in White. Seeing Rise Against play the Ghost Note Symphonies version. Seeing In This Moment in Seven Dust. August Burns Red when we tipped the freaking benches up at Summerfest. Seeing Skillet again right before Victorious release. Trying to think of what else we have coming up the pipeline. Well, I talked about what was coming up the pipeline. I mean, come on. Take a look at what else I get to go do. I mean, shoot, I just had it in my head, but what else did I saying for concerts? Anti-Flag and Pennywise. I forgot I saw Evanescence. I mean, Anti-Flag and Pennywise. I can go see Rise Against the Slayer in Chicago. Get to see Fever 333 in Madison. I can see Motionless White again. I can see Disturbed again. I get to see Ice Nine Kills. And I'm just doing this up because that's what makes me enjoy it. And so it's like, I'm trying to make the most out of the fact that I've got minimal responsibilities to anybody else but myself, and I've got like disposable income to spend on myself, and I'm gonna make the most of it. Just because I know the point's gonna come down to, I might be like 75, 80 years old, sitting in a chair like wishing I could do this stuff. But then the other thing too is even though I'm wishing I could do this stuff, I can always look back and say I did do that when I had the chance. I did, take that chance to go to Croatia, to go to Amsterdam, to go to all these concerts. I did take the chance to take my dad to the Daytona 500 on his 60th birthday. And next year, I think we're going to the Indy 500 because that's what he wants to do with us. I'm like, hell yeah. By us, I mean me and my brother. But it's just, and then when he's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, let's just plan on going to the race. And then whatever else happens, happens. And I said, be on the no plan because the no plan is the way to go. It makes for so much fun. I mean, you can just get into anything you want. It just happens. So being on the no plan is definitely just made me a very happy person overall. And honestly, I wasn't necessarily doing, I was doing fine, but I wasn't just doing, the best before the trip. After coming back from the trip, it's like I've got such a more of a new appreciation on life and what I'm doing because of how much fun I got to have doing it. I had no care in the world. I never really thought of any bad thought at that time. Like, if I do this, I might be disappointing this person, or if I do this, I'm gonna make this person mad, or I'm gonna hear about it when I get home. No. I really didn't care because I was having so much fun with myself, and the whole thing that mattered there was I being happy. And I gotta tell you, that whole entire week there was a smile on my face the whole entire time. I was never mad. I was so happy the whole entire time. Well, maybe I was a little annoyed on the flight home because we got it was a delay in Dublin, and then all of a sudden my flight was full, had to sit in the middle seat. But just reflecting on how awesome of a time I did have that whole entire week, you could not wipe that smile off my face. So in the end, I mean, I think I've finally done it. I think I finally found when it comes to me just being by myself, how happy I can truly be while doing it. And I know what it takes. It took me a while to get to that point because, again, like I've talked about it, what was it? No, almost 2 years ago. When I was at the time, 2 years ago, I mean, I was uber depressed. And again, I always say it this way, it was something that I caused myself, and I had to go through myself. So it hurt. It really fucking hurt. But I think it actually has helped me gain appreciation for these times too, because I remember how bad those times were. I remember sitting in the bathroom at work, sitting on the floor, just not being able to move, or not wanting to move. I mean, I could move, but just not wanting to move because I just didn't want to just exist. I just didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be on Earth. I just didn't want to be anywhere. I just wanted to be gone, be forgotten about, and just. I can think back and remember how bad of a feeling I had there. I can really still feel that, but thinking about how good it is now. Oh my God! Nothing beats it, guys. Nothing beats it. I mean, I think I've really found my happiness with music, and no plan, where it's just kind of just go with the flow on things and just kind of just, if you feel happy doing something, by God, do it. As long as it's not, something that's very, very illegal. If you're happy doing, like, if you're happy with music, if you're happy with sports, if you're happy with having a family, if you're happy with just being alone, if that brings you true happiness, go and do it. Go and do it. And I know I kind of got preachy there, but I really wanted to, just because I can finally say it, and I can finally have like real context behind it. And I just wanted to share that with you guys, because I don't know if you guys will need it. I just don't know. But anyway, I really hope you enjoyed that one, because we did get to go through Killswitch Engage and got to go through all the Mars Island stuff. But then you got to really get deep into what I was thinking, especially in the fact that I am truly happy. I mean, take a look at that meet and greet photo again. You'll see happiness right there. And at that, let's end this podcast. So I'll thank you for listening to the My Song That Rock 2008 presents the Chord Progression podcast next week. So you guys remember let me take a look, make sure I get the band's name right. So, do you guys remember earlier we interviewed the band Total Eclipse? I think it was last month. Yeah. Right at the end of July. You guys remember that one? Remember they mentioned a band called Apollo 03 that was like their sister band? And it was hilarious because for Small Band Saturday, I have Apollo 03 set up before Total Eclipse. Well, Total Eclipse beat them on the podcast though. But Apollo 03 is going to be interviewed next week, baby! So you get to hear some more California punk rockers and trying to see where they're coming up. And I'm going to see if I can get them into Milwaukee, too, and have a play a show, because I want to see these guys play, along with Total Eclipse as well. So, that's that. That's it for me. Thanks for listening, everybody. It's Kevin from the My Song That Rock 2008 presents the Chord Progression podcast. And you're going to end this the exact same way as we always do. Me with a smile on my face, and see ya!